Okay, so I thought we'd cover a CZ clone today. This is the Tristar P-120. It's actually made by Canik. Let me go ahead and show it's clear. So see if you can see that. It's made by Canik, imported by Tristar, made in Turkey. Canik's making a lot of guns that are imported these days, mostly by Tristar and by Century Arms. I know the TP9 SA and the TP9 are pretty big nowadays, or what's considered budget guns, but you know they offer a lot of value, and I think this does too. And this is one of Tristar's full-size CZ clones, and it's really cloning the SP-01, specifically the standard SP-01 from CZ. As you can see, it has the safety versus the tactical model, which has the decocker. So this is for those who are looking for just the standard SP-01 or a clone of it. And what I really like about this gun is it has basically all the same features the SP-01 has, but it comes in cheaper. So I bought this 2 years ago, and I paid right at $350 shipped for it. So I just think it's a great value. I've put close to 900 rounds through this gun so far, and I've had no issues. So let's start with the magazine capacity. This is a big advantage of this gun. It's a 19+1 capacity, so just like the SP-01s, which are 18+1, this is basically exactly the same size. And this magazine is produced by Metgar, which is the OEM manufacturer for a lot of different companies, including CZ. So they're just high quality mags, and you get 2 of these with the P-120. When inserted, you can see it does stick out the bottom, so you've got about 1 inch here to get that extra capacity. So that may be a killer for some. It's not for me. The primary purpose of this gun for me is just a range toy. It could be used for home defense or just for the range. I would never recommend it as a carry gun, and the reason is the weight. The weight unloaded for this gun is 38 ounces. That's a heavy gun, especially for 9mm. And you know the reason for that is all steel. The frame is steel and the slide is steel. It's a heavy gun, especially when you load it up with 19+1 20 rounds. That weighs it down even more. What I can say about it is that weight just makes it a sweet shooter. The recoil is non-existent on this gun. What's nice about the CZs and the clones is that slide rides in the frame. So you're getting a low bore axis, and with this gun you have just a really nice beaver tail. So it feels good in the hand, and you know it just makes the recoil non-existent. Follow-up shots are so easy with this gun. Another thing that makes it nice is the trigger. So let me go ahead and show you the double action. Now what I can say about the double action is I have average size hands, and that trigger reach is out there for double action. It's very difficult for me. If you had smaller hands than me, I don't know if you could do it. So I can show you the double action. It's really nice, but it's just way out there. It's very smooth though, very smooth, but it's just way out there. The single action is very nice. So you're gonna have a little bit of take up here, apply a little bit of pressure, and it breaks. Show you that again. You have a little bit of take up and a break. The single action is right at 4 to 4.5 pounds. Maybe it's probably closer to 4. And the double action, you're looking at it right around 9 pounds, I would say. And I don't have my I don't have a scale out here to measure that, but you know I've shot so many guns that I kind of know the weights now, and that's got to be pretty close. The P-120 also offers an accessory rail, so if you wanted to run a light, it'd be perfect for it. So it'd be perfect for a nightstand gun. The only thing I gotta say is it comes with standard 3-dot sights on it. So that's kind of, if you wanted to run it for night, you may want night sights. There are sight options out there. As far as I know, Cajun Gunworks offers some sights for this. And I don't know if the SP-01 sights work, but I would assume they do. You may have to look into that. I really haven't looked into it because this is not what I use for home defense. I just use it for the range, and I only shoot during the day, so I have no real need for night sights, but they may be out there if you want to search around. Some criticisms I have of this gun, other than really the weight, are the grips that come with it are really crappy. They're plastic grips that don't feel good in the hand, so I changed those out for some VZ frags. These are CZ75 full-size grips, and any CZ75 full-size grips that will fit a CZ75 will fit this gun, and they feel awesome in the hand. They add that grippiness, which makes it a lot easier for me to shoot. And I also got to say the serrations on the front and the rear are not what I prefer. These don't even go down the full of the rear back strap. So, you know, that's a lot to be desired in my opinion. I wish they checkered these, and I wish this went down the full back strap. That would be much nicer. And that's kind of a criticism for me, but what do you expect for the money, I guess? It does have forged serrations on the front of the trigger guard. For those that like to put your finger here, I don't, but you know, for those who do, it's got it. What I do like is the serrations on the side. So you can see the slide is beveled, but they do have these forward cocking serrations if you want to do a press check, and they also have the rear cocking serrations, which make it a little easier. A big complaint of the CZs and the clones is that because that slide rides in the frame, you don't have much gripping area here. So these rear serrations make it a little easier, as well as these forward serrations. So it's not too difficult with this gun. I do have an SP-01 as well, and unfortunately it's on loan with one of my friends right now who's shooting it in competition. But I'd like to do a comparison video between this gun and that eventually in the future to kind of show the differences and similarities. But I gotta say, this is pretty much exactly the same gun. The trigger's a little different. I would actually say this has a better trigger than the SP-01. The only thing I can say better on the SP-01 for sure is the finishing on it is much nicer. So if I were to open this up, you'd see some marks on the inside as far as where they finished it. You can say some swirls and things like that. So it's not the greatest finishing on the gun, but the outside looks great. It's actually a Cerakote finish. It's held up very well, but I don't have a ton of rounds through it. So we'll see in the next few thousand rounds how it holds up. But you know, for the money, it's just an excellent option. And if I had to tell somebody, hey, you know, would I rather choose the SP-01 or the P-120? I would say if you're willing to spend the $580 or $600, whatever the SP-01 is running right now, go ahead and do that if you have the money. But you know, if you're looking for less than $400 and you want the same performance from a gun very, very similar to it, this is an awesome option. And it's just a smooth shooter. It's fun to shoot, and it's a great gun. So hopefully that helps some folks out if you're looking at either the P-120 or the SP-01 from CZ. Thanks for watching, y'all.